and how we take this next level, we're trying to find the way to really combine what's great about content and the art of what we do in entertainment with what's great about all the data that Google and YouTube can bring to these campaigns and make them as efficient as humanly possible.
Barney's very much about, the message was very much about with millennials growing up, be nice, be fair, be equitable. This is the first generation since the GIs, pre-World War II, that really wants a middle class, actually. They don't like the ostentatiousness of the super rich and the super poor and the divide. They like a middle class. 72% of millennials agree that government should work hard to reduce the income gap between the rich and the poor. Clearly the most socially conscious generation in a long time. We asked a question, having a positive impact on society is important to me. This was percent that strongly agreed. 1 out of 3 strongly agree. Over 50% actually agree with the statement of millennials. It's important to me, a company I buy products from supports social causes. Over 50% of millennials agreeing with that. 70% of millennials agreed with the statement, you know, if a company is unfair, I'll figure out a way to make it fair. Now that sounds a little like threatening Xer, actually. But it's in the name of fairness, you know, and millennials will stand up for fairness, and that's very important. This whole notion of social consciousness is really, really critical to them. Millennials expect brands to listen to their feedback and engage them in two-way interactive conversation, right? Interactive, not passive conversation. Listen to me, and let's listen together, and let's accomplish something together. Don't forget these: participate, create, and share. Participate, create, and share. If you're doing these things in media, you are attracting the millennials, and you're getting on the right track to actually monetizing and creating a way of the future. It's our belief that there will be an education revolution probably in the next 5 years or so. The reality is that the educational system, as the way it is set up, is a post-industrial education system, the same one we had in the 40s and the 50s, and it hasn't changed much. And it is not capturing the attention of the kids that it needs to. We think the entertainment business is going to actually transform the education business. And that's not a bad thing. The entertainment business understands how to capture attention of young people, right? So we think that there's going to be, and it's already actually, there's a few people out there that are already starting to kind of focus on this, but we think that this is going to be the big growth industry in entertainment, avocation, edutainment, you know, combining those and actually creating something that's going to actually be very powerful for our society.
You saw the stat about millennials are more likely to buy products that come from brands that have social relevance, and you know, if you're being treated unfair, will make you treat them unfair. We think there's a lot of content inside that. I spent a good deal of my time working in branded entertainment at previous networks, and we've translated branded entertainment at Pivot to being, let brands come on our air and tell their stories about social impact. We've worked with a lot of brands, Intel, Monster, who are doing things out in the world that are amazing, women's education, and they're spending money and investing in programs and doing all these great things, but nobody knows it. So Monster was a great opportunity where we worked with those guys, and basically they were looking to find ways to tell the story about millennials in the job market. So we made a half-hour documentary with them about 3 different millennials and the struggles they're having. It was very subtly branded. You know, it was just sort of presented by Monster.com. And the half-hour documentary was treated like anything else on our air. We promoted it. We were transparent. And what ended up happening was we just told the story of the struggle of millennials to find work. And then a natural extension of that is what Monster does, Monster.com does, the job site. And so, you know, by telling that story as authentically as we could, but also highlighting the issues that are very familiar to that audience and mirroring their experience, you know, we saw tremendous you know, recognition lift and brand lift and all that sort of stuff. But I'm proud of it as a good half-hour documentary. And I think the audience starts there, and they are fine with the connection back to advertising as long as it's really clear and transparent.
We want to reach millennials. How do we reach millennials? Please, God, help us. How do we reach millennials? And it's a little bit of a false question, because the truth is you don't. Millennials reach millennials. That's the most important thing that I want to make clear today. Millennials reach millennials. We heard Warren talk about how much millennials value their relationship to their friends, right? how that's almost the most important thing in their life is their connection to their friends. And so you need to strategically find a way to market what you need to market, drive the conversation you need to drive with that in mind. And build relationships with the next generation, right? Again, this is LA. This is what we do. And so don't wait for them to be the next Seacrest, the next Ellen DeGeneres, the next Tina Fey, because they kind of are now, right? So get in there, form relationships. They want to work with brands. They don't hate advertising, as someone said up here. They hate bad advertising. So let's create good advertising. And give creative prompts when you do this, not talking points. This is a really tough thing. You know, people give us like a script of stuff that they need Connor Franta to say, and it just doesn't work that way. You need to give them a creative prompt, right? We worked with the team from Anchorman a while back, and the creative prompt was make a video with a mustache and tell people that Anchorman 2 is coming out, right? That's a creative prompt. That was really smart. Remember, this is almost a no-brainer, but it's important to keep in mind, authenticity wins. Make it personal.